The Nutcracker 1977, also known as the one with Baryshnikov. For those of you not in the know, Mikhail Baryshnikov is a very famous dancer who has also dabbled in acting. That's all you gotta know, because that's all I knew going into this. Mostly, I know Baryshnikov because my mom really likes him. I understand it's silly to reduce the guy's very prolific skills and career to that simple fact, but that was enough for me. I'm not gonna sit here and read the guy's Wikipedia page just to pretend I know stuff about him. My mom really likes him, and I wanted to see what the fuss was all about. But we don't only have Baryshnikov in this. Unfortunately, we'll get to that. Since this is a Nutcracker ballet production, we also have all other elements to consider, such as the different characters, multiple dance numbers, sets, costumes, and all that good stuff. And having watched this, especially after watching other Nutcracker ballet spectacles, I can definitely say this one isn't it. First of all the copies that are available to watch for free on YouTube have abysmal quality, but also they're the only ones that I had reasonable access to, so that's the footage you're seeing in the background. If you're fully committed to watching this, I can only hope you get a DVD for cheap on eBay or something, since I sure can't. But the problems are not related to the footage. The thing is, this performance is very much tied to the idea that it's edited as a movie, not as a live show. There are multiple instances where a doll version of the character is shown on screen, and then they cut to the human version of the character. There is no stage magic, it's just editing. This would look incredibly silly as a live performance, it's just not meant to happen like that. Still, that's not inherently a con on the movie's part, it's simply not my preference. It's just that I personally love the stage magic aspect of the live show versions, and this one is lacking that. The sets themselves sometimes look cramped or flat too, which detracts from the magic of the dance a little for me. And then Baryshnikov shows up. And oh man, I get it. He plays the part of the Nutcracker Prince, and it's a slam dunk. Oh, it's delicious. The second this man swung his sword, I was hooked. The swiftness, the weight, the strength of his movement. Clara jumps into his arms and she feels almost weightless. He holds her so effortlessly but so protectively, and he's been on stage for 30 seconds. It's amazing. The battle against the Rat King is my favorite sequence in this. Baryshnikov excels at jumping and kicking and spinning, and he gets to do so much of that here. It's bouncy and high stakes and fully energetic. He brings, dare I say, a certain sexiness to the Nutcracker character, just from the astronomical control this man has over his body and movements. And he's still wearing the mask at that point, mind you. There's the sequence where he swings the sword at the rat, and he dances in such a way to convey that it's unbearably heavy, and oh man, I felt that. The guy's good. He's really good. He dances with Clara for a bit, but then we get to the Land of Sweets part, meaning it's time to watch a bunch of people who aren't Baryshnikov dance. And here's when it becomes very obvious to me that he's the main highlight in this. I'm much more interested in him, and the rest of the performances aren't unique enough to captivate me. So when we're focusing on something else, I just can't help but feel like we're wasting our time. To the production's credit, they do provide him with some other extended dance sequences and give him plenty of space to shine. Again, what this man does best is jump and kick and spin around, and they crafted a whole number based on him doing exactly that, and it's great! It reminds me of why I came here in the first place. Another performance I'd like to talk about is Clara's, who was played by Kelsey Kirkland, and wow, talk about being fluid. Her movements are stunning and ethereal. All of the weight that Baryshnikov puts into his spins is wonderfully counterbalanced by the sheer featheriness of Kirkland's own movements. She is outstanding here. Come for the Nutcracker, stay for Clara. The chemistry between the two main characters carries this performance not only on a technical level, but narratively as well. It becomes so strikingly obvious that Clara is deeply in love with the Nutcracker prince, who in return cherishes her just as passionately. Every synchronized dance move sells you on this idea. They match each other's freaks, or whatever the youngsters are saying nowadays. But then we get to the end of the show, where Drosselmeyer shows up and all other characters from the ballet fade, and Clara wakes up back in her living room. And that's it. It was all a dream. What a downer! Come on, they spent a whole hour building up this wonderful romance between Clara and the Nutcracker, and then it's all gone? There's no scene of Drosselmeyer in real life introducing Clara to his handsome uncursed nephew, by the way. Clara wakes up, she's alone forever, the end. What a waste. Are the highlights high enough for me to ignore the cons? Yeah, not really. At the end of the day, there are better ballet versions out there. What you really should do is just watch the parts where Baryshnikov and Kirkland dance together, which is what I ended up doing as a rewatch while writing this. Those scenes are fantastic. The rest is just okay. I get the hype. If you only watch this version because of Baryshnikov too, I can definitely say I understand where you're coming from.